gentlemen, and we will start with Mr. Hunt because he's a Georgia Tech man.
Okay.
In 2003, the legislature passed a measure permitting public universities to pursue civil damages against individuals who entice amateur scholarship athletes to violate NCAA rules. Should the state of Georgia take the next step and criminalize this activity? Mr. Hunt.
Well, that's an excellent question, and I guess what you have to look at is maybe we're doing too many regulations in here. Maybe you should actually allow a little bit of money to come to these impoverished players that are suffering so much under the current ways. Let's rethink the whole thing. Let's make it that we have the maximum liberty and opportunity for people. Let's have it that they can make a reasonable amount of money where they're not having to do things that would violate it because they can't even get by. We need to have it that all the people have the right way forward. And we need to clean up our sports, but we need to have a system that's fair to the player as well as it is to the college. The colleges are getting all the money, the glorious stadiums and everything else. And the donors are putting a lot of money into the football programs. I'd like to see those donors put it into education. I would like to inspire that because that's where we need to put our money is in education. And then have it that the players can get some money, and then we'll have a much better system.
All right. Mr. Deal?
Well, first of all, perhaps we should see more enforcement of the law that we currently have. That appears not to be effective. I think more importantly than anything else, though, is that we need to see some fairness in the NCAA. We need to see players being treated equally for the same kinds of accusations. The state of Georgia at the University of Georgia, I think, is trying to play by the rules, but we're seeing other stadiums across the country playing individuals who maybe have done the very same thing that one of our players is alleged to do. It is a serious problem. I think it requires that everybody be treated fairly and equitably, including the players and the families as well as the schools. Now, this is certainly something that I think we have to be very cautious about legislating on. This has always been within the province of the private sector, those who regulate athletic activities in our colleges and universities. But I do believe that with enough public pressure, we can change their attitude to make sure that our people, including Todd Gurley, are treated with the same degree of fairness that other athletes are being treated.
Mr. Carter?
I think you've got a lot of Georgia fans up here, at least two. But I'll tell you, the short answer to your question is yes. I think that the folks that are out there preying on these athletes and making money off of them should be punished. But I'll tell you what I think about when we look at and consider what's happening at the University of Georgia. And it's that we have undermined our public institutions of higher education so much over the last several years, it's unbelievable. The cost of college in this state is rising faster than in any other state but one. In fact, that's just another way in which Georgia has reached the bottom. I believe we have to ensure that we're making education our first priority every single year, not just in an election year. And I believe that if we do that, we can control the cost of college, we can expand the Hope Scholarship to ensure that middle-class families are able to maximize their access to college. And right now, I think when we look at the University of Georgia and how excited we are about our football team, we also want to be excited about the dynamic nature of our institutions of higher education and their ability and folks' ability to afford to go.
We're at time.